Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bolo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिभजगाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindha Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की, श्री प्रभुपाद की, श्री प्रभुपाद अनुगा की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gaura, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Put the mat for everybody. Give a mat for the ladies. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Yatha, just as. Can you reduce this fan speed? Vastuni, commodities. Panyani, meant for trading. Hema adini, such as gold. Tataha tataha, from here to there. Paryatanti, move about. Nareshu, among men. Evam, in this way. Jivaha, the living entity. Yonishu, in different species of life. Kartrishu, in different material fathers. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation: just as gold and other commodities are continually transferred from one place to another in due course of purchase and sale, so the living entity, as a result of his fruitive activities, wanders throughout the entire universe, being injected into various bodies and different species of life by one kind of father after another. Purport: it has already been explained that Chitraketu's son was his enemy in a past life and had now appeared as his son just to give him more severe pain. Indeed, the untimely death of the son caused a severe lamentation for the father. One may put forward the argument, if the king's son was his enemy, how could the king have so much affection for him? In answer, the example is given that when someone's wealth falls into the hands of his enemy, the money becomes the enemy's friend. Then the enemy can use it for his own purposes. Indeed, he can even use it to harm its previous owner. Therefore, the money belongs neither to one party nor the other. The money is always money, but in different situations it can be used as an enemy or a friend. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, it is not by any father or mother that the living entity is given his birth. The living entity is a completely separate identity from the so-called father and mother. By the laws of nature, the living entity is forced to enter the semen of a father and be injected into the womb of the mother. He is not in control of selecting what kind of father he will accept. Prakrite kriyamanani. The laws of nature force him to go to different fathers and mothers, just like a consumer commodity that is purchased and sold. Therefore, the so-called relationship of father and son is an arrangement of Prakriti or nature. It has no meaning. Therefore, it is called illusion. The same living entity sometimes takes shelter of an animal father and mother, and sometimes a human father and mother. Sometimes he accepts a father and mother among the birds, and sometimes he accepts a demigod father and mother. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Lak Bhakti Lata Bija. Harassed life after life by the laws of nature, the living entity wanders throughout the entire universe in different planets and different species of life. Somehow or other, if he is fortunate enough, he comes in touch with a devotee who reforms his entire life. Then the living entity goes back home, back to Godhead. Therefore it is said, Janame Janame Savai Pita Mata Paya Krishna Guru Nahi Mile Bhaja Hariye. In the transmigration of the soul through different bodies, everyone in every form of life, be it human, animal, tree or demigod, gets a father and mother. This is not very difficult. The difficulty is to obtain a bona fide spiritual master and Krishna. Therefore, the duty of a human being is to capture the opportunity to come in touch with Krishna's representative, the bona fide spiritual master. Under the guidance of the spiritual master, the spiritual father, one can return home back to Godhead. Om Tat Sat Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyam Ishwaram Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are continuing our reading of King Chitraketu meets the Lord, and we also read earlier the instructions of Narada Muni and Angira Muni. So here we are hearing actually, I think, the instructions of the son of Chitraketu. The son of Chitraketu has come back into the body, into the dead body, and he is giving instructions to the father. It's an amazing turn of events. A very junior person is giving instruction to a very senior person. You may wonder, how is it possible? Age does not matter in giving timeless instructions. Age does not matter to give ageless instructions. To speak about the eternal truth, Shukadeva Goswami was 16 years old. In the audience was his father Vedavyas and his grandfather Parashara Muni also, and Narada Muni also, his guru. All these gurus, Param Gurus, everybody were sitting. He was sitting on an asana and speaking the absolute truth. So, age is not important. Material age is not at all important. The spirit soul, the Atma, the son of Chitraketu, is coming and speaking timeless instructions. And he is explaining to his father, don't get possessive of me thinking I am your son. Actually, I am not your son. I am a free bird. I have so many fathers and mothers like you in so many janmas. Nobody has got any permanent relationship in this world. Very shocking instruction he is giving. You see, the reality is always shocking, but the illusion is very comfortable. It's a very interesting thing. Reality is shocking, but the illusion is very much comfortable. And if you seek a comfort zone in this material world, you live in illusion. Koto nidra jao maya pisachira kole. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has sung this beautiful song. How long will you sleep on the lap of Maya? She is giving you a nice feeding bottle and singing you a lullaby. Tungra kanna, sleep. Don't wake up. Keep sleeping. I will give you everything that you need materially. Right? So shocking things happen in this material world. And you should welcome shocks. If you want really progress spiritually. Excitement is when you are forced into reality. And your bubble is broken. Illusory bubble is broken. It's like that. You've seen these people producing bubbles. In all these exhibitions now he'll be standing selling that bubbles, and now various types of bubbles now come out. Big bubbles, small bubbles, all sorts of things he has got. But the bubble goes tip and breaks. Very fast it breaks. So he's telling all these relationships are just bubbles. They're like this. Nothing is permanent. In other words, you should not take any relationship seriously at all. Just think about it. Just think about it. That Bhagavatam is so wonderful because it simply speaks the truth. That's why many people don't touch the Bhagavatam. Why? It speaks the bitter truth. It breaks your illusion. Yesterday we discussed how Bhagavatam is Moha Mudgara, hammer of illusion. Breaks your illusion forcefully. So here the son is coming and telling the father, Annapani, I am not your son. An amazing statement. Imagine, you'll think I'm dreaming or what? How can you say this? So much of affection I have for you, so much of affection you have for me. We are both together. My son, I am not your son. I am not your son. So he's explaining, my father, relationships are like this, like gold. Gold is a very, very highly valuable possession. Right? You will take it from anywhere. You will take it from anywhere. Right? So, since it's a valuable possession, it is coveted. It's purchased. It changes hands. It changes shape. It becomes jewel in some lady's neck as a necklace. After some time it will be melted and it will become a ring in somebody's hand. Several rings in his hands. Afterwards it will become melted and it will become possessed by somebody else in some other shape and form. Then it will become a bar, it will be traded and go to America. Then it will come back in somebody's hands. So this is being spoken about here. Just like that, I am a spirit soul. I don't belong to you. I am an independent spirit soul. I am going on my journey. I have no relationship with you actually. Somehow we got together and had relationship. But further commentary Prabhupada is giving is, which the son is not telling, actually I came here to take revenge on you. Which is explaining, I came to take revenge. You troubled me in my previous life in this way. You gave me the same misery. I'm coming to give you back. I'm actually happy that I died and you suffer. And now you're calling me back. I never want to be with you. He's telling here, Prabhupada, Chitraketu does not know his son is enemy from previous life. Chanakya Pandit has mentioned this, I've told you many times here, that Rinakarta Pita Shatru. You must understand, a father who creates a debt for you and dies. Nariya kadan vaangi, start some business, ella finished, then he dies. And everything comes on your head. You are just a young boy, just finished school, and you're just going to college, then your father passes away, and all those guys who gave money, you come and ask, give the money. So I have to work, I have to run around, I have to get money, and my mother, my brother, sister, what a huge responsibility comes on me. What a father is. He left me with this big thing, and you have to run around the whole life you will spend to give back the money. Rinakarta Pita Shatru. You must remember that your father is your enemy from previous life, that he passed away after taking a debt on his head. Rinakarta Pita Shatru. Bharya Rupavati Shatru. If your wife is very beautiful, she is your enemy from previous life. This is Chanakya Pandit. Very sharp. She'll give you a lot of pain, because everybody will look at her and she will not look at you. All sorts of painful things which you can never express to anybody else will happen to you. Rinakarta Pita Shatru, Bharya Rupavati Shatru, Putra Shatru Apandita hai. A son who is an idiot, no brain, retarded, he is your enemy from previous life. He is the enemy from previous life. He has come to give you trouble. Papa, he'll say. His biological age will be 40. He'll behave like a 2-year-old boy in front of everybody. When the guests have come and all, he'll come with his saliva and all pouring. He will come with his short knicker and dirty this thing and come and fall on the father. How the father will feel in front of everybody. He has to just tolerate it. This repeatedly he will suffer this pain. He can't do anything. I can't do anything. I can't kill him. He's my son. Pain you suffer. You see how much we are all under control. Because of affection for his son, he cannot think he is my enemy from previous life. In this life he can't think like that, because he is a son. How things are arranged, your karma comes in such a wonderful way. So Chitraketu is not understanding this son who just came and gave me thrill and passed away is my enemy from previous life. You would not understand if you do not have education on what is this world, how things are happening, how it is managed, what are the mechanics behind it. We just float on top without in-depth understanding. That's why you should have education. That's why you should read Bhagavat every day, to understand the reality of life. So put yourself now according to this Bhagavatam in your situation and see, I am born in so-and-so place to so-and-so parents. And I am thinking something about myself and leading a life. I am very smart. I am very educated. My Jadakam is very good. I will get a lot of money. I am very good at speaking. I am very beautiful. All these things are in your head and you are moving around. Actually, none of these things are true. Your spirit soul is true, which you never think about. You are part and parcel of Krishna. You never think about it. Krishna is there in your heart waiting for you. You never bother about him. Krishna bhuliya bhogavancha kare. You forget yourself, you forget your relationship with the Supreme Lord, and you're busy, absorbed in your own temporary thoughts and those type of relationships that give you sense gratification. For you, relationship means what gives me material pleasure of the subtle type. That is the relationship I want. And those relationships that don't give me that subtle pleasure, I keep away from. This is how we work. We are programmed in a particular way. We should understand the program that's running inside. We simply helplessly run around according to the dictates of that program. You are not living according to what you should, according to who you are and what you should do. That we are not doing. That we are not thinking. In our mind, the thoughts that we get are all proddings, pushings. Manaso vegam, vacho vegam, jihva udaro upasta vegam, etan vegan yo vishahet dhiraha. It's mentioned in the nectar of instruction. These are all vegas. Through the mind you're getting pushed by particular powerful thoughts. And it governs you. Thoughts are very powerful. It governs you, it moves you, it makes you act. So Chitraketu is pushed by affection for his son. He is not understanding this son is my enemy from previous life. He will never understand that. There's no scope for him understanding that. So his son itself is coming and telling, I am not your son. So shocking to hear. It's even more shocking for Chitraketu to hear. If he goes to a proper Jyotish, he will tell you this fellow is your enemy from previous life. Really? How is it possible? That's the arrangement of material nature. Your karma will come through people who are very close to you only. Just think, the next door fellow is not going to give my karma so much. He may throw a stone at my window. Maximum he will do. That also he will do with scare, because I will also throw a stone on his window. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki. Where your investment is in terms of relationship, through that only Maya can affect you. Isn't it? If you're, somebody going on the road, he'll never affect you. And you might as well be in good terms with him. Go. I'm never going to see you in my life again. So how will your karma affect you? Sometimes people going the road also will affect you. Fine, rarely. But the best way to get at you is to get at you through people who are very close to you, whom you have invested in. Through that only Maya can affect you, no? If you have to be affected deeply inside, the person whom you have invested in with love, affection and everything, that is the person who can affect you most. So if some karma has to happen to you, you have to suffer mentally, physically. It has to come through people who are very close to you, whom you have put trust in and confidence in. That will be very painful. Of course the neighbor also can do, but it will not be so painful. Because I don't have much investment in the neighbor. Except maybe the neighborhood girl whom I have fallen in love with. Maybe. Some investment. But the persons who are your relatives are coming from previous lives. It's the arrangement of nature. You see how it is. If you watch very carefully in a separated way, you'll see that's happening. You can see people suffering. They come and tell, he's telling like this to me after so long. How can let him tell, what is your problem? Why are you? But how can he tell this to me? Why can't he tell this to me? He's after all telling, let him tell. Why are you getting so affected by what he tells? No, because your investment in him. Actually what he's telling is bunkum. It's not true. But he can affect you by even saying the untruth. Why? Because you have invested in that person. This is the way your karma will affect you. If you're not invested in the person, who cares? They don't care. Because I have no relationship with him. I have no relationship with him. But the effect, the same thing is told by somebody who's close to you will affect you. So the only way that karma will take effect on you is through people very close to you. You have trust, you have faith, you have invested love and affection, they will only give it to you. They will become agents of your karma. Correct, ah? Yes or no? Now go and examine your family members. At the same time, there are also good karma coming through the same persons. Some of the closest people are the ones that will give you the best confidence, faith, support, everything. That's your good karma. That will also come through people close to you. It's not that everybody around you should be looked at with the lens. Are you Chitraketu's son? You don't have to watch everybody through that. But you must know that they all become agents of your karma. You see, Prabhupada, I told you this before also, in a public lecture, I think it was in Canada, that after he lectured, one person got up and asked questions and passed comments about Prabhupada. Like so many things he told. And Prabhupada simply kept quiet. Then he went ahead and answered the next question and next question. And the devotees were surprised that that fellow was so vociferously against certain things. And Prabhupada didn't say a word. So later they asked Prabhupada, why did you not say anything to that person? Normally Prabhupada means he will shut him up by giving correct answers. Very nicely, in a gentlemanly way only. But Prabhupada did not say anything. So they asked him why. Prabhupada very quietly said, I have done something wrong to him in my previous life. Just keep quiet. And then I told this in a class, and there was Gopal Krishna Maharaj there also listening. It was somewhere in Ujjain. We had this bureau meeting, something. And later, while I was eating prasadam, Gopal Krishna Maharaj came to me and said, you know that devotee you spoke about? You know, the next visit Prabhupada came and he gave a packet of some gifts plus prasadam and he said, go and give it to that man. Do you know this? He told me. He said, I was there in that session. So I was so surprised that Prabhupada, it seems, when next time he came and told him, give gift to that man who asked me these questions. So Prabhupada is noted that this fellow is coming from previous life. He has some scores to settle with me. And I must not react to it. I have done something wrong to him. Very amazing behavior. I was tears in my eyes when I heard this, that Prabhupada did this. He is seeing correctly. He knows that this person has come from previous life to give me this. Same thing he told about his other devotees. He said, you have all been sent by Bhakti Sastri Thakur to help me preach in the Western world. He told about his disciples. Prabhupada can see. Some people can see this fellow has come from previous life to trouble me. You can feel it. Sometimes, you get married and you feel that. You'll feel that. But you have to go through it. You cannot escape these things. Karma is like a thing on your neck. You cannot escape it. So here the statement made is, surrender to the supreme will of the Lord. Don't surrender to temporary relationships and take shelter of that. Our business is you're getting squeezed by material nature, by your karma. You must immediately surrender to the Lord. You're being taught to surrender to the Lord. You see, this boy is saying, you will see before this. Yeah. Bandhu jnati ari madhyastha mitro dasin vidvishah sarva eva hi sarvesham bhavanti kramasho mittah. Mithya. It's false relationship. He's telling his father. It's very amazing. It's just a 5-year-old boy sleeping there. He's getting up and he's speaking these things. It'll be very shocking. If you put it in, you should take a movie of these type of things. It's very shocking. So the translation is, in this material world which advances like a river that carries away the living entity, all people become friends, relatives and enemies in due course of time. They also act neutrally. They mediate. They despise one another and they act in many other relationships. Nonetheless, despite these various transactions, no one is permanently related. He's telling, there is no permanent relationship at all. It is not worth it. And today all talk is about relationships. One shot the Bhagavatam said, forget it, none of them is permanent. Only your relationship with Krishna and Krishna's devotees is permanent. So you should nourish that. You should put water there and nourish it. And these things you should just go through, that's my karma. Okay, let me tolerate it. Just like Prabhupada tolerated that person, you should just grit your teeth and tolerate it. I will not allow this to disturb my Krishna consciousness, disturb my devotional service to Krishna, which is a permanent relationship, which is an investment that I am supposed to make and which I am making. I will not allow that to disturb that investment. This is something I have done in the past in ignorance, and that is coming back at me. Let me simply tolerate it. Let me grit my teeth and tolerate it. What to do? So many times we understand we cannot do, like I'm explaining to you that Putra Shatru Apandita hai. What can I do if I get a son like this? I cannot do anything. I can't kill him. I can't, exchange the son for something else. This feeling I had when we had this autistic gathering. We had 100 autistic children come to the Goshala and do Go Puja and take darshan. We gave them prasadam and gifts. Then one mother came. She is running an autistic school. I can see in her eyes that boy is keeping on around the mother. He's doing yani kani chapapani. He's going round and round. The mother pulling her this thing and saying this, and she's keeping on talking. He's keeping on talking to the mother. And I asked her, he's like that all the time, he's like that. She has to tolerate this 24 hours a day. How it will be? It's very difficult. And all of them are hyperactive. And to have a child like that and be constantly tied to that, you can't have anything else. Some of them are sending to autistic school, at least for 2-3 hours, maybe free. I can do something peacefully. You can understand that. But what will you do? Cannot do anything. You can see the powerful hand of material nature. You cannot escape your results of your activities. So, all these relationships, we should simply tolerate. I saw them tolerating, and she's putting up a smile and talking to others, and she is actually maybe very, very learned in many different ways. I was appreciating that they had decided in their mind that this is how my life is going to be. And I have to make changes, I have to adjust myself to it. So many times we make adjustments. But the real adjustment we should make is not just a material adjustment of acceptance. We should make an adjustment of investing in Krishna, investing in the real relationship. That's what is the lesson this boy is telling. I have understood this in my life. I am understanding it. So he is speaking his wisdom to his father, who is another spirit soul. According to the son, you are another spirit soul. You don't have any relationship with me. But I am just wanting to speak to you my wisdom which I have gained, because you are suffering, thinking that I am your son. I am not. Please understand, this is the way to treat me. I am another soul. You are another soul. We are independent of each other. By the arrangement of material nature, we came together. We'll separate. We'll come together, separate. And we'll come together with somebody else in my next life. This is a reality. This is a reality. It's a harsh reality. But it is not so harsh if you actually get to know that these relationships can be substituted by the relationship with the Supreme Absolute Truth. Krishna. That is the solace. That is the solace. But with these fleeting relationships, that too nowadays in Kali Yuga, all life is temporary, but within that every moment has become temporary. Every relationship moment has also become temporary. That's what they are worried about. But Bhagavatam is saying everything is temporary, including your whole life and you and your relationships. Well, I can't understand that. But okay, you can't understand that, so every moment of your life will become like this, so that you can understand. Every moment is made temporary and fleeting. There's no value in any relationship. It's become so cheap because there's no culture. There's no culture on which you can stand and have a decent human life. Very dangerous situation. The only solution is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's prescription. Live in a community of devotees, at least, and establish relationship with those devotees who are serving Krishna, and learn to serve Krishna and establish your relationship with Krishna. There is no alternative to that. There is no other option. There's no other option. And Krishna says that Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Ananya chinta, without thinking about anybody else, think of me only. Actually, that's what Krishna is asking. Prabhupada said he's demanding it. Ananya chintayanto mam. Don't think about your son, about your daughter, about your father, about your mother, your wife, your husband. All that will be taken care of by material nature. Think of me. This is what is Krishna's instruction. How much are we doing it? How much can we do it? In that lies your success. In that lies your success. So that the illusory, temporary nature of this world is very amazing. And even more amazing is that we think it is real. And we put our time, energy into it and worry about it. It's actually not worth it. This boy is getting up and talking and he's telling, it's not worth it, father, so-called father, not worth it. Don't spend your time on me. Bhagavatam is full of these type of instances. Wow. Pururava and Urvashi. Pururava is completely enamored by Urvashi. Urvashi is Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka and all that. Urvashi is created from the thighs of Naranarayana Rishi. Indra, he thought, who are these two people doing austerities? Send my Apsaras, put him down. But he did not know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Naranarayana Rishi doing tapasya. He sent his Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka and all that. Nothing happened to both of them. Completely nothing happened. And they were busy sweating it out, dancing and exposing everything and nothing happened. And then Narayana from his thighs created another fantastic looking Apsara, Urvashi. And he said, give this to Indra. Go back all of you. Tell him it's my gift to him. What an insult to Indra. Then only he understood that, oh gosh, I have done this to Narayana. And he has given me a gift of a lady who is far more beautiful than everybody whom I sent. Give back gift. That is Urvashi. Urvashi, very beautiful. So Pururava fell for her like nothing. And she said, this is a big story. I get married to you under certain conditions only. And those conditions are that I should never see you naked. There's 2 lambs, if you something. I don't want to go into it. Anyway, Pururava will break that somewhere, because she said, you will not ask me any question, whatever I do. Every time the child was born to her, she went and threw it in the sea and killed the child. And so he couldn't take it. In the end, he started screaming and saying, what are you doing? I told you should not ask me any questions. So she disappeared. So he went in search of her everywhere. In all sorts of places, in another planet and all he went. He did austerity, penance. Urvashi eva gatiranyata. I have no other buddy, nobody else I will invest in. You are mad, lusty for her. And he went searching for her everywhere. 2-3 times he met her and then he said, "Will come back?" Then she said, "What a man you are." And she told him, "You are so stupid investing in me. Who am I? I just got some body and some nice looking things. If I were you, I will do other things." What a shock. Something similar here. Another type of shock she got. She started preaching to Pururva and saying, "If I was in a man's body, what all I could have done. You foolish fellow running behind my body. Why are you like this?" And she told that you should not trust like this, people like me. I will cheat you. These are all sorts of so heavy instructions she gave him. And then he got back into his real understanding. A shocking revelation to him. It's there in the Bhagavatam. It's called the Aila Gita in the 12th canto. It's a very beautiful section. Wonderful instructions. So we get to know the reality, and it is harsh for those who are comfortable in illusion. And it is not really harsh, it's relatively harsh. But when we understand by knowledge, it's not true. We must apply things in life. Gradually, we will accept it. That's the way the world is. Don't expect anything. Don't expect anything great to happen. But always expect lousy things to happen to you in this world. I can tell you that. If you remain charged like that, you'll be a very happy fellow. These things happen. What to do? Let me accept it. I'm not going to pay attention to it. I'll just let it go away. If you worry about it, you're paying attention to it. And it'll grow bigger. It'll grow bigger. If you don't pay attention to it and let it go and pay attention to your spiritual life and your progress, you will see you'll diminish their importance and they'll simply disappear. Simply disappear. This is what Chitraketu learned. He learned that big lesson. Okay, my son is teaching me. Right? My son is teaching me. So therefore he learned that lesson. And he became liberated from the illusion. He was situated in reality, although he was in the material world. That is the greatness of these lessons. These are lessons that every human being, every soul has to take some point of time in your life. Whatever your material situation is, you have to brace up and accept this. Then you are a successful human being. So everybody has to go through this internally, individually, privately. Others can only help you from outside. You have to go through that by yourself. And it's an exciting journey because you learn by Maya beating you into shape. It's not always beating and it's all not always suffering. It's sometimes good also. If you learn to appreciate the education, then you will enjoy it. In fact, you will relish it. Austerity is sweet because it gives you knowledge. Sacrifice is sweet because it gives you knowledge. Bhagavad Gita will tell you, all sacrifices end in the culmination of knowledge. Krishna says in the 4th chapter. After all types of sacrifices end in the culmination of knowledge. So when you get knowledge, you're in a better position to bear it. You're in a better position to bear it. People with good karma actually can never get realizations much. They'll be stupidly happy. Always laughing, smiling, I'm very happy, I got a lot to eat, I got a lot to enjoy. And this thing is actually very unfortunate. Because at the end of life, he'll get a very big shock. And he will step into his next life. Who knows how that is? Whether his horoscope is so good. But people who have bad karma, if they get into Krishna consciousness also, it's the best arrangement. Of course, sometimes I get frustrated, Krishna is not helping me. But it's okay. Krishna is definitely helping you realize many things. And I see that when people suffer in Krishna consciousness, they are educating. They're getting educated. But when people enjoy and have very good karma and all that, I think it'll take a long time for this fellow to understand. Take a few more janmas. You can see sometimes. So, sometimes misery is fortune, is spiritual fortune. It's useful. Bhagavatam is filled with these stories, wonderful stories of so many amazing personalities who cut out of illusion and came into understanding and reality. Every one of us has got a story to tell. It is the saga of the spirit soul climbing out of illusion into reality. Everybody's story is fit for being in the Bhagavatam actually. Why? Because it's a story of success, of coming out of illusion and being situated in the reality of Krishna consciousness. It's a great story. So you also, each one of us, because Krishna is waiting for you, you also have to make that journey. Everybody has to make that journey back home, back to Godhead, as Prabhupada put it. It's a great journey, and it is the most exciting, most illustrative journey that you will ever have. So Prabhupada, he is the person who is facilitating that for many, many souls. By writing these things, look at him writing here. Chitraketu does not understand that his son is the enemy. He is saying the truth. He has lived his life like that. You know, Prabhupada, he at one point of time was a very responsible family man. 5 children, running a business and carefully living life, thinking about many things in his life. In his business life, in his grihastha life also, going to the temple regularly, like some of you are coming as grihasthas. He was also coming like that, giving donation to the temple, listening to some sannyasi speaking, thinking about it, going back home with his son, like that. But he is constantly, definitely, very deeply thinking about life. At one point of time, he understands that I think I should take some step towards doing certain things in my life. And that comes when his wife actually doesn't understand what her husband needs, doesn't support him in his spiritual life. You know that famous, you'll see that picture drawn in the Leelamrita also. Tea or me is the question Prabhupada is asking. She starts drinking tea. Because tea was just introduced in the British times. It is not like, you'll find it very surprising. When I first read it, I thought, tea was not there. Prabhupada said, I never drunk tea, coffee in my life. In his life, he has never drunk. Because tea came in, British introduced a tea. And Prabhupada speaks about tea introduction, what all the Britishers did in a lecture. How they introduced tea and spoiled the culture of Indians. You know, and then they put a tea cess, a tax on tea, and took the money and made them drink the dust and the dirt and all that they sweep up, made that into tea and gave it to Indians and exported the leaf to London. Let's get money from these rascals, by making them drink the waste. And they made free tea booths and gave everybody, got them addicted. Then they closed the booths and said, now you buy your tea. Like that. So tea was new. But Prabhupada's wife, along with some other Indians, started developing taste for tea. So she started drinking tea. She had a kettle, very nice, balo hobe. She started drinking tea. And she also sold some of the manuscripts that he had written. and bought tea. Prabhupada was furious. And he said, what are you doing? This is all nonsense you're doing. Of course, today if you say tea drinking is nonsense, they'll finish you. How dare you say that? Free speech, free drink tea, free everything. Don't interfere with me. I'll do anything I want. So, but those times, it was so unconventional to do it. So Prabhupada said, you're busy drinking tea and I'm struggling to maintain the family and I want to keep up my Krishna consciousness and you're not helping me. You're busy drinking tea and you sold my manuscript also. This is something very bad. I'm getting a very strong message. He got this message, he left home. He left home. This is not my place. I want to pursue my life. Similarly, Ramanujacharya also left home because of his wife. I'm not scaring the Grahasthanis, I'm just saying. The situation created by material nature is meant for you to take advantage of. Ramanujacharya's wife, very chaste Sri Vaishnavi, very nicely brought up, very cultured, everything. But she didn't understand Krishna consciousness. She, who's that, Nambi, who came famous, taking instructions. Not Nambi, Manakal Nambi. Tirkachi Nambi. Tirkachi Nambi was giving him instructions. He was highly appreciative, but he is not from a high-class Brahminical family. But he's a Vaishnava, he's a devotee. So Ramanujacharya was like accepting him as my guru. He even asked him, will you initiate me? And he said, no, I am from a low-class family. I am not supposed to do, you are a Brahmana. So he refused out of his humility. And he had invited him home, please come home too. I am a Grahastha, I should invite sannyasis and devotees and I want to feed them. You want to take advantage, as I said. So he had invited. And when he will come, it was not like fixed. So he came. Tirkachi Nambi came to Ramanujacharya's house, but he was not there, he had gone out. His wife alone was there. And he had already told his wife, I've invited him, anytime he may come, you tell me and I want to be there. But he was not there. So she said, yes, please come. He told you'll come. And she did not call him inside. In the outside veranda, she said, sit down here. And she put food for him on a leaf. And she sent him off like that. Ramanujacharya came and heard, he was furious. He said, I want to eat the remnants. You threw the leaf away. Not only she threw the leaf away, she sprinkled Panchagavya, everything and cleaned that place. He's a Shudra. He's from low-class community. He come into a Brahmin's house, I should clean the place where he sat down also. She did this and he was so furious. He said, enough is enough. I have suffered enough. You don't understand. He left the house, took sannyas and left the house. So Chitraketu also had a shocking experience. He said, enough is enough. I had to surrender to Krishna. Every spirit soul has got his story of the day he will surrender to Krishna fully and tell material nature, enough. I have taken the lesson. You don't need to act on me anymore. And we have to do that sometime. That is successful life. It may not be palatable at all now. That and all I'm not going to do. My son, my daughter, my mother, my father, my wife, my husband, I cannot leave all that. It's not so easy. Along with them, I will practice everything as much as I can. Little bit here, little bit there. Slowly it will happen. But you have to do it. Like Chitraketu is being forced to do it by the arrangement of Narada Muni and Angira Muni. So when will that day come? When will that day come? That everybody has to have face-to-face, face the situation. and take a decision to do it. That's when we will actually have the Chitraketu moment of our life. We are, now. And it is introduced to him by his son. So, very beautiful instructions. Bhagavatam is really interested in us. Bhagavatam doesn't speak what you like to hear. Bhagavatam speaks what you should hear. You may like or not like, doesn't matter. It speaks the truth. It just speaks the truth. That's why it is very favorite grantha of everybody who is interested in the absolute truth, Krishna. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki. Any question or any comment what anybody would have, you could do that. Yeah. Srivas.
Talking about the material relationship.
Yeah.
When we practice Krishna consciousness, we also start developing Krishna conscious relationship, especially when we preach, two people come to you. One person is very favorable, is offering you, another person is following but against, rebelling, and then. So is it a karma or immaturity or what?
Is it karma?
When you preach, two people come to you. And then one person is very favorable and is very helping you and is getting more positive. Another person is taking up the process but he is against you or rebelling or inimical attitudes. So is it karma or understanding? How to understand?
It could be everything put together. Why it should be only one or the other? You don't have to binary analysis. Either it is this or that. It could be both, no? It could be both, definitely. It's a good hybrid. Because we are not really liberated persons, always. But when we preach, we are actually making a facility for Prabhupada to preach through his books. He is the one who has written all these amazing things and giving this foundational instructions. So when we say we preach, we actually act as an instrument. This is my understanding. We act as an instrument. We distribute the books. We speak the same words. We use the same logic and information and everything and convey to the other person. So our karma, our impurity, our lack of 100% Krishna consciousness, all that will be factored into that also. Definitely. This is the realistic understanding. To think that I am preaching, why it's not happening, it's a different thought. So we present what we can according to our ability, and we pray to Krishna, we pray to Guru, we pray to Prabhupada that it should take effect in some way. And then according to that receptor, the person who is receiving, according to his situation also, and according to the inspiration the Lord gives him, it will be accepted. There are many, many factors. It's not like very simple to say should be happening, it's not happening. Normally it is happening because we are presenting it as it is. This is Prabhupada's statement. He said, my success is that I have presented Krishna consciousness as it is. As I heard it, evam parampara praptam. Right? That is why I am successful. He didn't even say that because I am a pure devotee, I am preaching, and he didn't say anything like that. He considered himself to be a very humble servant of Bhakti Sri Thakur, and he has done everything paka, and I am simply presenting it. He is perfect. This is the answer he gave. You can imagine Prabhupada was asked in a public lecture. He spoke about liberation and all that. So one man asked him, are you liberated? Very interesting question. How you'll answer? Are you liberated? So Prabhupada immediately became a little emotional. And then he said feelingly into the mic, instantly, I may not be liberated, but I am strictly following the instructions of a liberated person, my Guru. Therefore I am liberated. And everybody clapped, actually. That he was so humble and at the same time gave the right answer. And he was sure of one thing, I am following my Guru's instructions. Therefore, what I say is liberating. Right? And I am liberated. Because I follow the instructions. He gave a very good answer. It was filled with humility. That is the mood with which Prabhupada preached. And in the same way, he faced many challenges. It's not that everything that Prabhupada did happened. It's not that many people didn't take it. Many of his disciples left. Lots of things happened. But he went ahead and he continued to do what he's supposed to do. So sometimes people take up, sometimes they don't take up, is what we heard yesterday's this thing. Sometimes you give good instructions, it's not received properly. What can you do? Upadeshahi murkhanam parkopayana shante. If you give good instructions to a foolish fellow, he will get angry. Chanakya Pandit said. If you give very good Krishna conscious instructions, sometimes you will see the person get angry. Enna sonna? How dare you say this to me? Hiranyakashipu did that to his son. He got angry when he gave instructions about surrender to Krishna. Telling his father, he got very angry. Why? Murkha, fool. Don't give good instructions to foolish people, they get angry. So there are all sorts of people in this world and Krishna has left them free. Krishna is not pushing them. We are trying to do our best. We go to them, we present Krishna consciousness. If he slaps you on the face, okay, I did my bit. Just have to walk, go to the next person. If you go for book distribution, you will learn this very well. It's the most humbling service to do. Can you take this book? Then tell you like that. Get out from here. I'm doing my big business. I'm making so much money in between. Fellow, get out. I've seen devotees telling me that they found the Bhagavad Gita they sold in the waste paper basket. Just on the same, this thing selling, no. Some guy bought it from you and threw it in the waste paper basket and left. How crazy he must be feeling. So he took it out, cleaned it and sold it again. He said, I didn't feel bad. That's how the world is. Another devotee told me one man spit at him. He spit at him and said, go get a job, idiot, fool. Why are you hanging around doing this? You useless fellow. He spit on his face. Then he said, what did I do? I took a tissue and wiped it through it. Found the nearest wash basin and cleaned my face. I was on the street again distributing books. He said it was a very humbling thing. I am just Prabhupada's servant of the servant of the servant. Who am I? If somebody spits on me, so what? I'm not going to take that seriously. I'm not going to stop distributing Prabhupada's books. It's Prabhupada's order. Right? So, we should simply do what we can do best. Some will take, some will not take. Maybe I'm not so effective, but I'll not stop doing it. Because it is the order of Bhakti Swami Prabhupada. I'll continue to do it. That's all. Om Tat Sat. Any other question or comment? Yeah.
What is the life completely without the difficult situation come to me? How can I surrender to the Lord?
How?
Life is without difficult situation. How can I surrender to the Lord?
Okay, you have no problem at all. You have very good karma. You have wonderful Janma Aishwarya Shutashi Bhir. Everything with you. And you are sailing high. So it's not that you cannot surrender to Krishna. The Pandavas were like that. They had everything. Janma, Aishwarya, Shutashi. They are very surrendered to Krishna. Your surrendering to Krishna and your devotion doesn't depend on your material situation, high or low. It's independent of it. It is just that if you are in a very materially favorable situation, you'll be very stuck to it, and it may be difficult for you to think of Krishna and surrender to him. Like the demigods. Demigods have such wonderful material facility that I know, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Krishna. I know, just let it wait a little bit. Let's enjoy our facility a little bit. They become a little delayed. But they are devotees. They are also devotees. But just that if you have trouble, you will surrender faster. Accelerated surrender it will be. If you have a lot of good facilities, you'll say, Kunjam, slowly let's go, let's enjoy it a little bit. Anyway, that is possible for me. Like that. So it's not that if you have very good facility, you will not surrender to Krishna. Well, there's a great chance that you may not, but you're intelligent enough. If you read Bhagavad Gita and the Bhagavatam and everything, and you have proper guidance, then you will utilize your good situation to serve Krishna. You'll utilize your good karma and serve Krishna much more. You get greater opportunities to serve. Everything gets converted into service. Your good situation. That's what an intelligent man would do. Use everything in the service of Krishna. Use your Janma, Aishwarya, Shuttashri in the service of Krishna. You'll be able to do much more. So isn't that not great fortune? Yes, it is. In the purport, Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam that a devotee's opulence should not be thought of as part of his karma. It should be thought of as given to him by Krishna. Prabhupada is saying, a devotee's opulence is the mercy of Krishna on him. Because if he is handling it properly, definitely is Krishna's mercy. His Janma, Aishwarya, Shuttashi, his good learning, good birth, and all that, he is using it in the service of Krishna, he has got Krishna's blessing. Because rarely will people who have Janma, Aishwarya, Shuttashri use it in the service of Krishna. They'll always use it to gratify themselves. So when somebody is doing that, you know that he has got Krishna's blessing. This is why King Prataparudra, Lord Chaitanya's devotee, king, is a king. But he was a real devotee at heart. He was completely surrendered to Lord Chaitanya. But then the devotees came and told him, Prataparudra has to meet with you. He wants to meet with you. Lord Chaitanya purposely said, I don't see. I am a sannyasi. I don't see a king. He's a Vishi. He's a materialist. He's having so much of wealth and so much of opportunity for sense gratification. I should never see such a person. I am a sannyasi. He denied even a small darshan that Prataparudra wanted. Purposely he did, actually, to enact a whole leela. Lord Chaitanya was very close to Prataparudra himself. But he said like this, he is a Vishi, is very rich and very well situated in his karma and everything. I should never see such a person. And repeatedly Prataparudra said, if I cannot see him, I am going to commit suicide. I'm going to die. What is the use of living? What's the use of my kingship? What's the use of anything that I have if I cannot get the darshan of the Lord and if I cannot get His mercy? So he said, I'm going to renounce and become a kapalika. I will carry a skull with me and go begging like that. I'll completely give up everything and I'll go somewhere like that. He started saying all sorts of things out of his disappointed feeling because he's a wonderful devotee. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing this on purpose because he knows that Prataparudra will never leave me and I will never leave Prataparudra. So all the devotees were wondering, why is he not seeing Prataparudra, such a nice, so many facilities he makes for Lord Chaitanya, for him to take darshan. He gave a special accommodation to him, for him, and he sent all his soldiers to do that, this volunteers to do that for him. Gundicha temple cleaning, he said, everything I'll provide. Anything that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants, tell me, I'll immediately provide it. With all my wealth, with all my power, with all my strength, I will do it. And he's doing. But Lord Chaitanya is saying, I don't want to see him. He's a Vishi. They're telling, he's done so much. I said, no, I should not see him. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya understands, he is actually, Chaitanya really wants to see him. But why are we going and telling him, King wants to see you? It's not required for him to ask permission. He told, don't worry, I'll do it for you. And he told Sarvabhauma, Prataprudra told Sarvabhauma, I'm dying, I'm going to commit suicide. He said, no, don't worry, this is game he's playing with you. He loves you very much. So he said, you do what I'm telling you. During the Rath Yatra, he will dance and he will come. He'll be very tired. He'll be in the Vallabha gardens taking rest. That is his favorite place. You take out your kiridam and your kingly dress and all that. Dress like a Vaishnava, simple dhoti kurta, nice tilak kantimala. And you come here, I'll tell you what to do. He said, okay, I'll listen to you. King listening to. He told him, come like this. And he said, he was lying down. Now go. You chant Bhagavatam shloka and you massage his feet. Simply do it. But he says, okay, something. Simply you do it. Don't worry. He went. He is king. He can go anywhere. Everybody else has stopped. He is king. He went inside. He went there, paid obeisances. And he prayed. This is Krishna. This is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I got this opportunity, I can't believe it. Then he started pressing his feet. Lord Chaitanya fully knows that he has come and he's doing this, and Sarvabhauma has told him, because Sarvabhauma knows me. And he started massaging his feet and he started chanting, Jayati te dikam janmana braja Shrayata indira Shashwadatrahi. Gopika Geetam he started chanting. And Lord Chaitanya was lost when he started chanting Gopika Geetam. And then he came and said that famous shloka, Bhurida Jana. Who knows that shloka? Tavakatamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Purida Jana. When he chanted this, Burida, he got up, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up and embraced Prataprudra. Can you imagine the thrill of Prataprudra getting embraced by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? And Prataprudra was in ecstasy. That same person who said, I don't want to see me, is embracing me now. Burida, he said, those who give out this wonderful Krishna consciousness to everybody. It's getting confirmed here, by the way, by a special background music. It's true what I say. That they are the most glorious. Right? Yeah, the most glorious. And so he embraced Prataprudra. What to speak of him meeting Darshan? He held his lotus feet, he worshipped him, he massaged him, and then he get embraced. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also knows that this is Prataprudra, he embraced him. So, although you are very rich, although you are very well-to-do, you can use it in the service of Krishna. And if you do that, Krishna will become more pleased. Isn't it? Yeah. Question or comment? Anything else? Yeah. Quick.
In the lecture you have mentioned that it is just soul to be fully of course. So there is a famous saying, anything sold free of cost, you are the product. So I got sudden realization that at ISKCON also we get free lectures. We are the product. But I'm very happy to be the product.
Yes. Yes, we do that, rightly said. We value you as a part and parcel of Krishna. We are awakening you to your own identity. So the product is you get awakened and you develop faith. That's the product. And then you contribute to Krishna. It's a wonderful scheme. Think about it more. For us, money is not important. Money is very cheap. We want your life. We want you. Then it comes automatically, everything comes along with you. That is Krishna's plan. He's standing here for that only. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. I want you. He's not saying I want your money. He's saying I want you to surrender to me. You belong to me. Mama ivam sajiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha. You belong to me. So why not? Become Krishna's. Good for you. Because you get great wealth of bhakti. You become very rich. We are giving out rich bhakti thing without anything. Chant Hare Krishna, you get bhakti. People don't understand the value. It's all topsy-turvy value systems. It's about money. Money is most valuable. But Lord Chaitanya told us bhakti is most valuable. He gets attracted to bhakti. Okay? One more? Yeah.
From Venkataraman, how to surrender to Krishna? What are the characteristics of a surrendered devotee? Please enlighten.
How to surrender to Krishna is explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Before he says Sarvadharman Parityajya, he tells Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. That is sadhana bhakti. He's telling you should do. Become my devotee. Worship me. Offer your namaskaram to me. Chant Hare Krishna. Do puja for me. Take prasadam. Live in the company of devotees. The process of bhakti yoga you should follow. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, that's what is explained. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has given us in practical terms what we should do. Chanting the holy name of the Lord, reading the Bhagavat, attending, has created a whole institution on this, for doing this. So I am sure that Venkataramana ji, you must be knowing that. Simply follow the simple instructions first. Don't go into the internet and read too many complicated things. Read Prabhupada's books and take the simple instructions. They have got depth in them. You simply do the instructions and you will reach the depth of it. Then next is how to surrender. What is the characteristics of a surrendered devotee? That is, if you read the Bhagavatam, you will see that throughout. The Pandavas and their surrendered nature. Prahalad is surrendered nature. Dhruva is surrendered nature. You will see all of them great devotees surrendering to the Lord. And that's what we discussed today. Some point of time you should surrender. In some janma you have to do it. You can't keep on going janma after janma. Somewhere if you avoid it this time, at least next time you will have to do it. Better do it of now only. No loss. Somewhere you'll have to do it. But what is the meaning of life otherwise? What's the meaning of existence otherwise? Right? So that said, if you talk about characteristics, that is mentioned. There are 6 characteristics of surrender. That's mentioned. Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. What is it? Rakshashititi vishwaso goptritve varnam tata atmanikshepa karpanye. These are 6 characteristics you will see in a surrendered person. That is, he accepts things that are favorable for his development of love of Krishna. Anukulyasya sankalpam. Pratikulyasya varjanam. Anything that is not helping him to develop devotional service and love of Krishna, he gives it up. Rakshishyati vishwaso. Krishna will definitely protect me. He has full faith, vishwasa. Then he is completely, you are my only protector. I don't have anybody else but you. He is thinking like that and surrendered to that idea. He doesn't think otherwise. In this way, there are 6 principles listed of surrender, and you will see these characteristics in a surrendered person. If you read the life history of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, you will see all of them in his pastimes. You will see that. And all the great people whom you know about in the Bhagavatam and everything, great Vaishnavas, they are all very surrendered. They depend completely on Krishna's plan. Whatever it is, does not matter. I am surrendered to Krishna's plan. So there's a big topic to discuss and explain here. But if you read the Bhagavatam, you will encounter these principles of surrender and characteristics of surrender. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.